Good evening, and it's nice talking to you again, and of course talking technical, and we are flooded with requests for tonight. And remember, it's your show, and just by the way, I read a nice article this morning where somebody said, if you look at the S&P 500, the American market, the one rule after the another rule is just, if there's inflation, buy. If there's a dip, buy. If there's deflation or stagflation, just buy. If there's a recession coming, just buy. If there's a hike or interest rate hike, just buy. So maybe that's the case. Maybe you don't even need to look at the show's program. You can just go out and buy. But let's kick off with the requests. And the first one, of course, is Bitcoin. And the request was sent in by Dauncey and somebody that also asked about crypto. But Dauncey, if you look at this chart, I mean, this is a weekly chart. And of course, it looks like the momentum of this chart is just picking up. And I would like to show you the following. And I mean, there's so many viewers just like Bitcoin. I mean, Bitcoin and some of the other cryptocurrencies are just some flavors all over. Now, if you just look at here, look at this beautiful ascending channel. Now, of course, an ascending channel, there's something else to remember about an ascending channel. And that is that the ascending channel is usually a negative. But while you're in the ascending channel, you can trade some beautiful trades. And I mean, from the low here, you can trade all the way. It can go right to the top, and that's exactly what it did there. It hit that resistance level, came back, tested it again, gave you a nice little bounce, came back to test again, and now it's moving up. So yes, Dauncey, if you want to buy it, I don't know if you've got the counter, but if you do want to buy it, there's your level, and I just want to show you there you are. If it remains above this little level there, and that is above 45,855, the price can easily go back, and that's why a lot of people say that it can go to a brand new high. Now, if it does this, it can move all the way up into this ascending channel and reach for a level close to 72,000, and that will be a definite new all-time high for Bitcoin. But I'm seeing something else, and I would like to show you this. I know a lot of people are very optimistic about Bitcoin, but I just want to show you something. I just want to change it into a line chart quickly. Look what we see here. Apart from the ascending channel that is quite clear, we see a possible double top here. Now, a double top is a dangerous formation. It's usually calling for a top. But I mean, if you look at it, it's a long way for this double top to get into action, and that will only be below this resistance, and that resistance is sitting at 31,545. So while it's above that, there's no double top scenario. A double top scenario is a warning formation. Below 31,545, it can really turn ugly, and then it can go back all the way to this 10,000 level. I mean, that's not Dauncey's question. Dauncey's asked, what can she do? And I think she's got maybe Bitcoin already in the portfolio. But if she does want the stop loss, let's just give her the stop loss, 31,772. Well, let's do the next one, and that's Brent oil, of course. Lucille has asked about Brent. Well, Lucille, I mean, we know now that the main contributor to inflation is what we can call Brent and oil. And I mean, what happened? I mean, oil was in August last year, $21. There was just not even a word about inflation. 2020, sorry, $21. And from there, it rallied all the way. The other day, it almost reached 130. But for me now, I'm seeing a tiny little tweezer top here. That tweezer top makes me a little bit nervous for those that believe that Brent oil can actually go to $200. But for me, look at the tops there. It reached 118, 119. It could not breach that. So for me, the momentum is still to the upside, but then you need to see Brent oil moving above 119.75. You can actually say 120. If you want to trade it, and if you are long on it, or you want to add to your position, of course, momentum is the game nowadays, and there you are. Buy it above 119.70. Make use of a stop loss of 107.54, and then it can maybe go back to this 130 level. For me personally, I'm seeing this as a tiny tweezer top. Let's just see if we can maybe see that on the candles. And oh, whoa, there you are. You don't see a tweezer top here. You see an irregular tweezer top, but look at this massive shooting star candle followed up by a bullish candle and now a negative. But you see these little shadows to the bottom, pointing out to the bottom of it. And that tells you that there is some buyers around that is supporting the price at around $100. So yes, Lucille, the chart looks okay. But if I'm a little bit nervous, I go to my line chart and I'm saying this tweezer top can actually come into play below this level. I just want to draw it in there for you so that you can see. There you are. If it breaks below this level of 107.21, it can easily go to $100. Well, Amber is looking for Anglo-Plat. And yes, Anglo-Plat. I mean, look at this chart. Beautiful rally. I mean, just from September, all the way from 1,263 straight up to 260. But what do I see here? I see a tweezer top here. This tweezer top, of course, makes me a little bit nervous. But where will this tweezer top actually come into play? I want to show you this line because there's something else that I want to show you. But this tweezer top came into play below that little line there. Below the lower end of that. And that can take it down to, there you are, about 1582. Let's use this beautiful support around here. And there's that support, 1546.58. But what I do see here is, can you see there's a top? And there's another top. It already went a little bit higher, but I will see this as an irregular double top. There you are. There you are. Irregular double top. Now, for me personally, that is a warning in itself. So I will not buy it because there's a tweezer top. But this double top will only come into play below this candle, and that will be below 1,260 and 16 cents. And where can it take it to? Can you believe it? It can take it to all the way down. There you are. So for me, sorry, Amber, I will say I will not buy it because I'm a little bit nervous. That tweezer top worries me a little bit. And it can easily go down to, can you believe that? 319 Rand and 83 cents from 2,250. That's a big top. So maybe I'm wrong. I don't like it. I've seen it many years ago with Sasol, and it actually played out. Well, let's have a look at Goldfield, South Africa. Julie is asking about Goldfield, South Africa. Now, Julie, I mean, look at this lamp pole formation. You guys know by now that I'm always nervous when I see a lamp pole formation. Now, and the simple reason is that the lamp pole formation just tells me that the share has just rallied too much and in too quick a time. So if you look at this, I mean, it rallied from 153.35 all the way up to 260 in a matter of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 trading days. I mean, that's a massive rally. And what do we see? First of all, right at the top, and I always look out for a few candles, and one of the candles that I always look out in a lamp pole formation is a beautiful spinning top. That tells you that although the bulls were around and they pushed the share price, they were nervous. But look what happened the next day. You saw a bearish engulfing candle, and then you saw this low of this spinning top of 229.95 turn into resistance. And that makes me a little bit nervous that we can see a sell-off. And remember, this is a weekly chart. And where can it go to? Where's the obvious supports? There's a support. Just want to draw it in for you. Julie. So definitely for me, it's not a buy at the moment. And if it really starts to drop, and I like to use horizontal lines, simply because, yes, you can use support and resistance lines, but I always take note of a support or a resistance line on a horizontal point, because if it gives me a nice level to look at, I say to myself, there must be a buyer or a seller at that specific point in time. So I'm looking for a horizontal line here, but of course, as you say here, look what do we see here? The momentum is still to the upside. Nothing is wrong. The momentum is telling you that it still goes higher and higher, and it can actually go higher. I just want to show you here. There you are. But this line is important because that is also your trend line. Trend will only break below 190.75. So yes, I like it. For me, I will not buy it. In actual fact, if I see this maybe a little bit of a bounce and another lower low, I will definitely tell me it's maybe time to lock in some profits. Fred is asking about Orion Minerals. Now, Fred, I like this chart, and the reason why I like this chart because I looked at this line chart, and I actually showed it on the program a few weeks ago. And why I like this chart, I just want to draw that, take that line off. There's another, you see I did a bit of work on this chart. There you are. If you look at this, massive consolidation, beautiful consolidation, and I got the idea that if it breaks this 35 level, and there you are, it was a beautiful move to the downside. Just want to show you there. First of all, the share tends to give a nice break. The first one was at 20 cents. It went up all the way. It came back. And when it got to this 35 level, there's the level that I looked at. It came back, and I said to myself, if it breaks above 35, I'll be quite happy to have some shares in my portfolio. And look at that. There's the level of 35. It made a beautiful triple bottom. And I liked the chart, and I said to myself, okay, it can easily go. And what happened? It bounced off all the way up to 17. Then it came back. But look at this. It did exactly the same a while back. There's 35. And Fred, this is what I don't like about the chart. It built a beautiful base. It broke above 35. It was a week above that, almost 39. Then it came to test it. That's a beautiful scenario. That tells you, yes, the share is preparing to bounce. And what happened? Oopsie daisy, it fell on a cliff and it came back to 29. So for me at the moment, only back at 35, I will like the chart. So Fred, don't buy only above 35. Make use of a stop loss of 32. But unfortunately, we're out of time. Visit our website, www.fransklerk.com for more info, and we'll chat again.